What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this episode of Wax to the Future. Tonight, Chi-Chi and I are bringing you Top Series 1, the standard flagship product. Looking for the Roman Anthony, Jac Caglianone rookies in here. We'll discuss a couple of other rookies later. But anxious to open this up. Seen some good pulls and some bad boxes out of this so far. Hopefully we'll get one of the good ones. But Chi-Chi didn't want to give a fun fact tonight. Him and I were talking about the Pirates and Connor Griffin breaking camp with them the other day. Last night, actually. And Chi-Chi said, I was like, I don't know, a 19-year-old breaking camp with the big league team. I don't know. You can't really have a 19-year-old lead your team. And he looked at me and he said, B, are you forgetting about the 2018 Washington Nationals? And I said, no, I remember them. They had Bryce Harper on the team. And he said, Bryce Harper played like crap that season.
He stunk on ice.
And I was like, oh, he did? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, they had Anthony Rendon on that team. And the team only finished 82-80. He was like, but they had a 19-year-old Juan Soto on that team. He said, it's not unheard of for a 19-year-old to come into the league and tear it up. And I said, but they had Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg. And he said, we have 3 number 1 pitchers. 2 number 1s and a number 2 probably. And Paul Skeens, Bubba Chandler, and Mitch Keller. Right, Chi-Chi? That's what you were telling me. And I said, well, they had Trey Turner. And he said, Trey Turner didn't have his breakout year until 2018. He said he was an average middle infielder the first 2 years. Like, who'd you say? Nick Gonzalez. What if Nick Gonzalez has a breakout year this year? If the Pirates can take the blueprint of the 2018 Washington Nationals, and what about Anthony Rendon? He said, well, he was a veteran then, and we have a veteran who has shown that he can be an all-star in, who? Brian Reynolds? Yeah, Brian Reynolds. So it's not unheard of. This team could be good this year. They could finish 82-80. And next year, build upon that. And we know what the Nationals did the next year. What'd they do? Juan Soto went on and I think was 3rd in the MVP voting. And they won the World Series. I'm not saying the Pirates are going to win the World Series, but it's not unheard of to have a young hot player with a dominant pitching staff to come in and do well in the league. I think they could do it. What do you think, Chi-Chi? Or you think they could too? All right. Thank you, Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi's still repping the Penguins here. He's growing his playoff beard too.
Playoffs?
Oh, you are. You're ready. The Penguins are playing pretty well before the Olympic break. All right, Chi-Chi, get out of here. And I'm repping Paul Skeens, Rookie of the Year. So, anyway, in this product, Roman Anthony's the big chase, right? You got Roman Anthony, Jac Caglianone, Colson Montgomery, Jacob Misiorowski, Samuel Basallo. Those are the top big chases. Of course, Bubba Chandler's in here. Chase Burns, if you want to chase pitchers. Cam Schlittler. Who else? Jonah Tong, Payton Tolle on the pitching side. And the one that I think people are overlooking, because he's a catcher and he plays for the White Sox, Kyle Teel. Big one in here too, I think. But the top ones, obviously, Anthony, Caglianone, Montgomery. Those are the big 3. So hopefully we can pull one of those on the other side. Let's get started. All right, like I said, we're going to do Top Series 1. This is a jumbo hobby. Got Hank Aaron and the kid here on the front with Shohei and Aaron Judge. They've got some nice redemption cards in here. The like actual 1950 cards. There's got the 2 silver packs. We'll save those till the end. There's actually a redemption for a 52 Mickey Mantle, which maybe it's in here. We can only have great. Not holding our breath, but who knows? Got to be in some box, right? Yamamoto there on the back. Here's what the design looks like this year. Matt Olson. The Braves. Kyle Stowers, who actually played really well for the Marlins after he got traded from the Orioles. He all-star third baseman, Golden Glove third baseman. Julio, Trammell, Gausman, Mason Barnett, Logan Webb, Ben Williamson, Warming Bernabel, Patrick Bailey, who, if he could start hitting, would be one of the best catchers in the league. I know everybody talks about Cal Raleigh. Obviously, I don't think Cal Raleigh's going to duplicate his year from last year. Vlad Jr., Jonah Tong, one of the top young pitchers in the league. Most blue pass. The guy I'm repping tonight. Paul Skeens. Cam Devaney. Here's a nice Colton Cowser to 250. A nice Dylan Cruz. The silver border. Mike Trout. Shad Mayfield. Hutch, who unfortunately the Pirates haven't signed him again for this year. And with the signing of Marcell Ozuna, I'm not sure what the chances are. Chase Burns, cool crushers here, Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber. Uchi, Royce Lewis, Spencer Schwellenbach. Home run leaders for the AL, Cal Raleigh, Aaron Judge, and Junior Caminero. Alex Bregman and Yamamoto. Of course, the World Series hero there. We'll run through these a little quicker. There's Rafaela, Trevor McGill, Matt Shaw, Washington Nationals team card, Logan Gilbert. There's a Payton Tolle. I said he's one of the second tier rookie chases in the product. Clay Holmes, of course, used to be a Pirate. Bronx Buddies. Who do we got on here? Aaron Judge, Carlos Rodon, and that's Max Fried there. Max Fried right there. I didn't know who that one was. Grant Holmes. Ellie De La Cruz here. Profiles. That's a pretty cool looking card. Profiles by Ken Griffey Jr. So, if you remember back in and a nice Lawrence Butler, back in Bowman Chrome last year, they did a series called Shots by the Kid. And this year in the flagship, they're doing the Spotlights by Junior. Aroldis Chapman, all tops team. I think those are pretty hard to pull there. Trevor Rogers. There's Colson Montgomery. Max Schumann, Max Fried, Christian Moore, and you see that? what's everybody thinking their team's going to look like this year? Of course, there's a Carson Williams, one of the, I'd say, second or third tier rookies. Imanaga. Of course, it's going to be hard to bet against the Dodgers again.
We need to get ready to go do battle against the evil empire.
Dodgers, Marcelo Mayer there, future star. Otto Kemp, and the Yankees. But the Blue Jays still have a good team, although they lost Bo Bichette. The Mets are making a run. Garrett Crochet, Bryce Trang, Luke Cashal, nice Maximo Acosta, another Koch. Profiles by the Kid, the Francisco Lindor, Joey Bart, Will Benson, Casey Schmidt, Cody Freeman, and Angel Martinez. And the Mets have made a lot of moves. Of course, they have Juan Soto, who, oddly, you think about Juan Soto, nice Mike Trout. When you just think of him in your head, Trey Turner, talked about him with the Nationals. You think that he had been in the league for, seems like he should be like 40 years old now.
I'm a man! I'm 40!
He's only 27 years old. Jacob Misiorowski, like I said, another one of the top rookies in the class. Saw I know Neil Cruz back there. Jackson Holiday, of course, is starting the season on the IL. Ben Priester, Nick Kurtz, Rookie of the Year last year. Colson Montgomery, Nolan Arenado. There's our one relic card. Felix Batista, David Wright, nice throwback there. Greatest hits, Christian Yelich, Pedro Pajes, another Yelich, Vinny Pasquantino. If you happen to be on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, Vinny Pasquantino is actually a pretty fun follow. Fernando Tatis, Braden Walters, and Jose Barrios. So leave a comment down below and tell me what your team's going to do this year. Joe Adele. Of course, the Brewers are always going to be tough. The Padres are going to be tough. The Dodgers are going to be tough. Carlos Cortez. The Astros. People are talking up the Reds. There's a Marcelo Mayer. Matt Strahm, of course, he got dealt to the Royals. Josh Lowe. Carlos Rodon. There's Kyle Teel. Like I said, I have high hopes for him. People don't talk about him because he is a catcher on the Red Sox. There's our autograph, Parker Messick. Grant Taylor, unless we pull something of awesome color. The profiles by the Kid of Ellie De La Cruz was nice, but we'll go down this, or maybe we'll pull something awesome out of the silver packs there. There's a Roman Anthony. Zach Neto. Agustin Ramirez, one of the top catchers. He's not getting a lot of love either. He was a awesome catcher for the Marlins last year. Lucas Giolito, another Payton Tolle, Clayton Kershaw, Yoshida, Brandon Marsh. I'm trying to grow my hair out like Brandon Marsh, but once it gets to my ears, I gotta cut it. I gotta break out the Floby. Here's a Trey Turner, silver, Gunnar Henderson. There's another. There've been a bunch of Ellie De La Cruzes in here. Big ticket player, Ellie De La Cruz. Anthony Volpe, Cole Young, who high hopes for him in Seattle, and Mason Miller, a big trade there at the trade deadline last year from the A's to the Padres. Hopefully the Pirates aren't done making moves here before the season starts. You know, I've heard links with one of the Mets third baseman, Beatty or Vientos. Also heard talks about, I don't know why that one was backwards, but talks of the, what was I going to say?
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
Nick Castellanos. Here's a /25. Ronald Acuna Jr. That's a very nice card there. We'll sleeve him up and put him up top here so we don't trigger anybody. And City Connect here, Dylan Dingler, the 25, 2/25 in this pack. That's very nice. Kennedy Corona, another Paul Skeens there, and the 91. Jason Dominguez. Is Jason Dominguez going to live up to his hype this year? Ben Rice, you know, talk about him being one of the top catchers, they say, in fantasy baseball. But I don't think he's going to catch. He's not going to catch much. I think he's going to play first base. And maybe on days that Stanton is out, play DH. There's a good big catcher, Samuel Basallo. Of course, in the Orioles organization, I don't know. Do they have too many catchers? You know, can you play, get enough at-bats for both Adley and Basallo? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Otto Kemp, Corbin Carroll. Of course, Corbin Carroll got hurt this past week. I don't know if they're saying he's going to start the season on the IR, but not looking good for him. Cam Schlittler, Ichiro, Ronald Acuna, big ticket batter, big ticket player. Will Benson, Cody Freeman, and Chad Parker. Getting down to it here. Hunter Goodman, another good catcher on a bad team. Jordan Beck, Owen Casey. Of course, he got traded out of there. Brady House. Logan Gilbert. Kyle Raleigh. Troy Melton. Spencer Horwitz. Dodgers duo. That's Roki and Ohtani. Kyle Teel. Nice card there. Cam Schlittler again. Yu Darvish. And Hunter Goodman on the back. Andrew Abbott. It's another Basallo. Bobby Witt Jr. Xander Bogaerts. Shohei. Brett Beatty. Bryce Harper. Big ticket player Lindor. And Ben Rice. Nico Horner. So we still got the silver packs. Hit that thumbs up and hit the subscribe. And in the comments, tell me who your choices are for MVP this year. Not Ohtani or Judge. Like Bobby Witt Jr. possibly in the AL, in the NL. Man, it's hard to say somebody other than Ohtani. Could be Francisco Lindor. Could be who else could it be? Bryce Harper. I don't know. Was he too old to win it? Had a good year last year. Buster Posey. Captain. Derek Jeter. Ichiro. And Randy Johnson. Last pack. Chipper. Christian Yelich. Nolan Ryan. Here we got a nice Mike Piazza Hall of Famer to 250. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Leave a comment below, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.